Hi, this time I wanted to talk about the use of we and shortcuts when it comes to conversations and traveling in tabletop role-playing games. This is going to feature the recent part of the Ravenhawk campaign, part 10, because as always, RPG Grandma, Big Bad RPG, and Eli provide us with great examples on how to roleplay. This topic of we and the shortcuts, it is deceptively simple, but there are some nuances to it. Let's start with the use of we. When it comes to deciding things as a group, it is quite common for one of the players to say, we go into the cave, we get on board the boat. But it is important to come to an agreement before doing that. Otherwise, the other players may feel as if you are taking control of their player characters. Because when you are saying we, in a way, you are steering or moving the adventure in a direction that is pretty much spearheaded by your character. When you say we go into the forest, we go into the cabin, we do this, we do that, etc. It's as if you are deciding for the other players. So that's why RPG Grandma, Big Bad RPG, and Eli, they are always deciding things in character. Their characters talk. They also talk with the non-player characters. And when they reach a decision, then one of them says, we go to this place, we do this, we, etc. So it is very important in tabletop role-playing games to always talk things in character. Decide on the course of action, and then one of the players could say we, describing the actions of the group. In other cases, it is implied. When they reach a consensus during the conversation in character, then the game master moves things forward once they go into an agreement. Let's open the door and go into that building. Yeah! And then the game master describes, as one of the characters describes, I opened the door. Or if they have already opened the door, you walk into this place, and so forth. That's why it's always important to have that link between actions and the positioning of the characters. It is not necessary to always be so strict when it comes to describing the exact position of the characters, because when you are saying, like I have mentioned before, when you are opening the door, when you are opening the chest, unless you describe that you are opening, for example, in the case of Eli with Mage Hand, it is implied that you need to approach the door and approach the chest to open it. Now, this moves or dovetails into the shortcuts. When it comes to traveling, there could be a situation where the group is in an interrogation room. They are exploring this underground complex. They are in an interrogation room. They discover a secret passageway. They go through the passageway, they climb down the ladder, they go through the tunnel, and they arrive at the secret storage room. Once they are done with their investigation in that room, their searching and all of that, they don't need to describe the exact route back. If they want to return to the interrogation room, they could mention something like, I walk ahead and we return to the interrogation room. Now you have a character that is leading the group back towards the interrogation room. You don't need to describe that you walk through the tunnel, that you climb up the ladder, that you open the door of the secret passageway. If you want, you can describe perhaps the first step. We go through the tunnel and up the ladder back into the interrogation room. But there are shortcuts. It's a sort of fast travel. A shortcut through fast travel. And this also applies to regions, especially in a sandbox setting, in a sandbox campaign. Like in the Ravenhawk campaign, it is a sandbox. So they pretty much specify, they describe that they want to go back to this place or go into this other place, unless the place is unexplored. You don't need to describe every step of the way of the journey. That's how they go back to the base, the winery. We go back to the winery. Easy enough. And here comes another shortcut. When you need to have some quick conversations in character, communicate important information, you don't need to carry out all of the conversation. In the Ravenhawk session, they studied the Tome of Strahd. They obtained all of these details that I was communicating to the group. And now, the two characters that studied the book, they don't need to repeat everything or restructure everything that I have said. They just need to describe. We communicate all of that to our friends, to the other members of the party. Whatever the case, when they returned to the winery, they just needed to update a few things, request that the war ravens provide them with better clothing to resist the cold, the unnatural snowing happening in the south area. They just mentioned that. We communicate this and that. We request that warmer clothes are secured for us. It is all so easy to understand. So these are a couple of shortcuts that you can find useful in your tabletop RPG sessions. If you have already gone through a place, walked the path, you can backtrack, you can go back that path, you can return to this place, this room, this site, without describing every step of the way. In other cases, even if you are going into unexplored territory, it is still possible to add some shortcuts. I head over to the park. Maybe you have never been there, but you had directions on how to get there. You can do that. And of course, you can also add some further description if you think that there are going to be some dangers along the way, battle formations, perhaps that you are paying close attention to see if you spot a red car, because you know that you perhaps suspect that a red car has been following you. And in the case of using we, always agree things in character. Come to an agreement with the other members of the group. That way, when you say we, the other players are not going to be feeling controlled, or that you're taking control of their player characters. As always, thank you for watching this video. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. This has been Abraham El Jaguar. And remember, roleplay solves everything. Once again, thank you, and see you later.